Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello people and welcome to Footy Judgment. Are Liverpool disrespecting Newcastle with that 110 million bid for Isak? Basically, they are trying to pay the same price of Declan Rice and Caicedo for Alexander Isak. Of course, Arsenal need a left winger. Like this happened yesterday. It's not like the world. Are people reading?
Hang on, Mo. Am I lagging or is it Mo lagging?
No, yeah, Mo, I think your internet might be too dead for this.
Bad, mate.
No, okay.
Yeah.
If you guys cannot hear, I don't know why my internet is lagging. I don't know. I have like 500 megabytes.
It's like the video's non-existent, and then also even the audio is like when you're going in and out of signal on the phone.
Can you guys hear it now?
It's still the same.
Okay, I'm gonna try to leave and come back in from a different browser or something. I don't know why, but let me just give it a shot. You guys can continue. It's okay.
Yeah.
Good talk. I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, let me
Is he gone?
He's still there.
You guys can hear me well?
Yeah, we can see you now.
Ish now, yeah.
Now.
Like, is it still lagging?
No, it's good.
No, it seems all right now.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but something happened. I don't know what is wrong with this. Is it StreamYard? Because I just tested the speed and it's just the ping is like, and the speed is like 500 megabytes. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it went again then.
Yeah, it did.
It's definitely your internet though, I think, because we're both fine.
We're all right here, us two.
It's dead.
Gone again. Mo, sort it out. We'll take care of you, bro. Don't worry. Sort it out. Yeah. No.
We'll talk about Liverpool for a bit.
Yeah, let's talk about Liverpool, mate. Yeah,
Isak, you confident?
I'm confident, bro. You know, like it's a bit like the Florian Wirtz deal. Remember, it was rejected first of all because it's not the amount of money they wanted and all that stuff. So I think Liverpool just testing the waters at first. Go for the low price and then they will meet in the middle. I think this has been working behind the scenes for a while. I don't think like this is just came about today. They were just waiting for the right moment, and I think maybe Newcastle have already found a striker that's going to be replacing him as well at the same time. What I said was, with this transfer is always going to be taking a while because it's the biggest transfer obviously in the Premier League history. And when you look at it from the point of view of Newcastle, if they would have got the money straight away in the first hand, imagine getting 130, 140. What the inflation will be for other players that they're going to go for. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're doing it in the down low, I think, and then they're going to get their player. and then they're going to obviously announce, Isak probably 135, something like that million. That's going to be the price they're going to be agreeing on, because they're friends, innit? You know about Eddie Howe and Richard Hughes and all that stuff, so they know each other. Yeah. So I honestly think this is what's happening, because I remember Florian Wirtz, it was taking a while, then eventually they got the right price. It's just working towards the price that's agreeable.
Yeah. I think that Newcastle have to like try and save face a little bit. Like, it can't just be your star player goes on strike and then you sell him for like the first offer that you get. So I'm like, they've offered him a new contract that supposedly has a release clause that he was never ever going to sign.
Yeah.
Then they reject a couple of bids, which again, I think you've definitely like started low, almost so that they can reject it, so that it's not just the first bid that gets accepted, so that they can turn around to Newcastle fans and be like, oh, we tried everything. But the thing is, I think now, even though like maybe players shouldn't do it, I just think going on strike, it gets the job done. Like it happened with Gyökeres and Arsenal, because there's just nothing you can do. Like once a player does it, like what are you going to do? Sack him and lose him for free? There's nothing they can do. So yeah, I think one thing I'd be interested is if they wait until the start of the season, or if they actually let you have him before the season starts. Because don't you play them really early on?
We played them in the second game. Got Bournemouth, then Newcastle away at St James's Park. So if he plays,
I wonder if just like out of spite, because they will be very, very pissed off with what he's done. I wonder if they just like keep him until after that game, so that at least they get one game where he can't play against them. But
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. This is always gonna take time with transfer like this. And not only that, what you got to look at is, mate, he's at Spain at the moment, training alone over there, and he's saying he doesn't want to come back until they finalize the deal to Liverpool. So, which is gonna, I think. Listen, there's another bid coming. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. They're gonna agree at some point. I honestly think that, because if the player wants out, like you just said, it always happens. We've got Fernando Torres pushed the move, went out. Coutinho pushed the move. Suarez bit someone to leave Liverpool, so it happens. This is football, and you got to accept it for where it is. And the player already said that he wants to go to Liverpool, so the next step is just agreeing the finance and the player coming to Liverpool. That's what it is.
Am I good now?
Yeah, much better.
I'm good.
Looks good for now.
Looks good. I don't know. I tested the internet. It looks fine. I don't know. It's probably my laptop, actually. I actually think what Liverpool are doing is, like, the player wants to leave.
Yeah.
But when Barcelona wanted, and we have to be honest, when Barcelona wanted Coutinho, they had to pay the asking price for him. And they paid, I think, 130, 140. What Liverpool are doing with Newcastle is that they're toying with them. Remember, Manchester City wanted Harry Kane, and they didn't want to pay the fee, and Harry Kane stayed at the end.
Yeah.
Liverpool bidding 105 plus 5 is disrespectful, in my opinion, to Newcastle. The player has 3 years left at his contract. Yes, he can leave, but Liverpool cannot play like this game where, like, okay, yes, we know that he wants to leave and he's going to force his way, so we're going to actually get him less than the valuation because we got to be honest, Isak is not worth 110. He's worth way more than this in the current market. If you're going to go for a top striker, he's worth more than this. I know a lot of people that don't like this from Liverpool fans, but what the club is doing is not the right thing, actually, to Newcastle side. Newcastle now can choose to sell him to someone else for 120. The problem is they know that the player only wants Liverpool, right? And they're playing on this. I don't think that is how it should work, to be honest with you. That is unfair to Newcastle. That is my opinion. It's unfair to Newcastle.
See, we were talking about that maybe when you were off, but I don't. I think Newcastle are glad that Liverpool have bid low, because it means that they can reject a bid. Because you say, like, Newcastle could sell him to someone else. Who? No one else has got that money to spend on a striker. There's no one else there. And now that he's basically severed ties with Newcastle by going on strike and all the rest of it, like, Newcastle probably need Liverpool to stay in it, but by bidding low and allowing Newcastle to very publicly reject the bid, we're trying our best to keep him, then it just means that when, a bid of 120, 130 comes in, they can accept that one instead.
So there is a news that they're gonna keep him, guys, and then they're gonna put a release clause for next season.
They can't keep him.
No, they can't keep him. The player wants that. And not only that, like, listen, it buys them time to get the player that they want as well at the same time. I mean,
nobody wants to play for them.
That's the thing. That is the thing. But it buys them time to, get that ready, obviously, at the same time as well. I honestly think there's works going behind the scenes that we don't know of, because the player does not want to stay at Newcastle. He's moved from Newcastle to Spain to train down there just to show the football club that he doesn't want to be there. So that's already the start. And you know how it is, guys. When a player pushes a move, more or less he's gone. It's just where Liverpool and Newcastle are going to meet on the finance. That's where we're heading towards now. Florian Wirtz, first bid rejected. Remember Mo? It happened with him as well. And then eventually they met around the middle and they negotiated the deal and they got him through the door. So I can see the same thing happening with Isak as well. I don't think Newcastle, they have to fight. I mean, do you guys, I don't know if you guys remember when Andy Cole was sold to Man United, how Newcastle fans reacted towards that. They wasn't happy. I mean, and Kevin Keegan had to step into the stairs to apologize to the fan base, for selling him to Man United. So they don't want to go through things like that. As long as you're showing a fight, it shows, you care about obviously your football club. And this is what they're showing at the moment. And eventually, once, the fan base starts saying, you know what, just let him go. Some of them are already saying that, let him go. I don't want him here anymore. They're already calling him a rat, obviously, outside the stadium, all that stuff. He's going to leave. That's how it is. That's how football works, guys. And it's always been like that, to me, in a way.
I also
it's all about the money.
Yeah, it is. But I also don't think he's worth 150 million.
No.
I think that's, when people start throwing that number, I think that's a crazy number. For a guy who, don't get me wrong, has in the last 2 seasons, a very good goal-scoring record in the Premier League and looks like a very good player. But when we're talking 150 million, you are talking like the most expensive striker, the most expensive player nearly ever. And I'm like, there's a slight worry about his injury record. And he is a very good player. But I think 150, that's huge.
If he spent on Declan Rice 100 million and Chelsea spent over 100 million on Caicedo, surely a striker in the Premier League with 3 years playing in the Premier League is worth 150 at least.
But I just don't know what to reference it to because no other striker's gone for.
But I'm referencing to other players that left in the Premier League. Jack Grealish left for 100 million from Aston Villa.
Terrible value.
Yeah, listen, where is he now?
And Rice and Caicedo.
I don't know. I think 150 is nuts for a player that is not the best. He's not even the best striker in the Premier League. Erling Haaland is.
Last season he was. I mean, Erling Haaland was injured, but if you compare it to last season, you can't say one season and he's worth 150 million. I agree with you with that one. But yeah, listen.
I think 120 130, that would be reasonable. 150, I think that's massive.
They want, I think, maybe 150 is too much, but I think I'm just referencing to other players that left the Premier League and went to other teams as well. And that's why I think 150 is fair enough, because what he offers Liverpool is something that nobody else can offer Liverpool, basically. Yeah. I think he goes to Liverpool and Liverpool are, I think Liverpool are going to be much better than anyone else in the league, anyone else, including Manchester City. And that is what you get for the money. You get what you pay for, in my opinion. And there's no other strikers. We're talking Mateta and Oli Watkins and these guys. Yeah. He is miles better than him. And people that talk about the injuries, last season he played 34 games, Rory. 34 games is a lot.
No, I know last season he did, but they weren't in Europe. The season they were in Europe in the Champions League, I think he only played 40 games all season.
And that's why they have Ekitike to run. Does anybody here think that they can keep Ekitike and Isak happy at the same time?
Oh, yeah. Listen,
Ekitike
can play more than one position, and he could play on the left as well as a striker and off the striker as well. So yeah, I've got no issues with Ekitike. Ekitike is what, 22, so he's got future here, like ceiling to get to as well. So if you've got both of them at the same time, and not only that, like what you got to realize, guys, there's a lot of games to be played here. You know what I mean? You're not going to play 1 or 2 games. You're going to be playing the way Liverpool are going. They're going to go for everything, it looks to me, next season. So that's about 64 games, maybe slightly more. I don't know. So you're going to need a squad. You're going to need squad depth to get the Champions League. You're going to need squad depth to get the Premier League, the cups and all that stuff as well. So when you got these players, obviously, in your team, you aim for anything you want. And not only that, I'll listen, if you're getting Ekitike and Isak at the same time, they could interchange a lot. And Ekitike could play on the left as well. Obviously, we lost Diaz recently. I don't even know we're going to get a winger in. And we're trying to promote that kid, Rio on the left wing as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of games to be played here, man. There's a lot of games to be played.
Liverpool are going to be complete with Isak. Nobody here is saying Liverpool are going to be complete with Isak if they get Isak. There are no holes in the team. How is it?
I keep saying that. I think depth at centre back and depth in holding midfield is where I would be. That's where I'm saying if you're looking at like, it's almost like because it's over 100 million, people almost don't clock the difference in money. But if you're talking like the difference between 120 and 150, 30 million, I'd be spending that on your centre back. I'd be using that to go and get Gahey. So that's where I do think it does make. And obviously, with Liverpool spending like, if they got Isak over 400 million this summer, then it seems like not a lot. But yeah, I still think they have to go and get at least one centre back and probably 100%. A defensive midfielder.
100% they're going for a centre back because you don't get rid of obviously Kwanzaa and then you don't get a centre back. Even when Kwanzaa was there, we were saying we still need a centre back. You know what I mean? Because Matip left and we still haven't replaced Matip. So. And that was a first team player on a consistent basis, if you know what I mean. So we still need another 2 centre backs, not 1, 2 at most, if we could get there. But I don't think Liverpool will get rid of Kwanzaa unless someone else is coming. Someone else has to come in the other way. It has to, because it doesn't even make sense. You can't rely on Gomez. You can't rely on Konate. They're injury prone. So you're gonna need, another centre back that's gonna be consistent. And I got a feeling what Liverpool have done this summer is get the hard transfers. Get the hard ones first, then the easy ones will come after as a surprise like that. You know what I mean? Gahey through the door or someone else straight away after that. That's how I see it. Because, the difficult ones are always the ones that's going to take the longest. And this is what we're working on at the moment.
Yeah, the season is 2 weeks from now. Like, listen, I actually think that this Liverpool team needs just a centre-back after Isak. The DM, I'm assuming that Gravenberch and McAllister will work behind Wirtz. There's Curtis Jones. I don't value Indo as much. Liverpool might not need to play that much in terms of like having a DM like the likes of Arsenal and the likes of Manchester City. Maybe they play in a different formation, a different way of playing. Yeah. Listen, I'm sold on that Liverpool are favourites to win the league, especially after watching Arsenal and Manchester City. Of course, there are other circumstances. Nothing goes your way. Like we have seen Arsenal last season and City with massive injuries. I'm not going to sit here and analyze injuries and all this stuff, but I think that Liverpool now, doing what they're doing now, I know that there is going to be a centre back. Liverpool are not going to the season with 3 senior centre backs. That's what people keep saying, right? I think the team is going to be complete. I think the team might actually try to go for the double, the Champions League and the Premier League. They have the depth to do it. It's all about now, if they don't get Isak, what is the alternative? Is there an alternative for Liverpool, or Liverpool go to the season without anybody else and they're just content with the likes of Gakpo, Ekitike, Salah, Nunes?
You have to keep Darwin. Like,
so I keep Darwin anyway.
You reckon?
Yeah. There's they can't, the valuation is not high. Yeah, they can't find a valuation for him. Nobody wants Darwin.
But didn't they already rejected like 50 million euros from Napoli, didn't they?
It wasn't. Apparently, it was 35 plus bonuses and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said that that's too low for a valuation for Liverpool, in my opinion. Yeah. Liverpool are doing the best, and people that talk about the spending, in my opinion, are just, listen, Liverpool have not spent any money last season. So basically, they're doing 2 windows in one, which is their right to do this. It's their right.
Even the season before, Mo, you know what I mean? Like, you got to look at it. The season before, we bought Soboslai, McAllister, Endo, and Gravenberch, right? But people forget the outgoings. You know what I mean? The finance of outgoings, like Henderson, Fabinho's, all these guys left. We got players off the wage bill. So the net spend wasn't even that high when we got those players in the season before. So, this season, we're improving the squad. We're not replacing players, are we? So this is how the direction we're going. As for the Isak thing you just said, if he doesn't come through the door, is it the end for Liverpool? I don't think it is, mate. You know what I mean? Because last season we was phenomenal with the team that's there right now. It's just minus Diaz and Trent, right? Them two, the only ones that's not there now. So Trent didn't really contribute compared to the previous season that much, to be fair. But Diaz did, because he played as a winger and a striker. So we got Ekitike, we got Frimpong, we got Kirkes, and we got Foreign Verts. That's an improvement on the squad that's won the league, with minus 2 regular players. So listen, either way, we'll be fine. I think. Like, if he comes, we'll be fine. If he doesn't come, I think we'll look elsewhere, because I don't think Liverpool are going to wait for him that long. I think they're going to look, for another player. Liverpool don't waste time on players. You guys know that. If the player doesn't come, they go elsewhere. And I've always said there's a player at Atletico Madrid. His name is Julian Alvarez. He used to play for Man City. That's the one I think that's more suitable to Liverpool than any other player if this guy is not available.
Yeah, they are building a super team, especially up front, to be honest. They are looking after Mohamed Salah leaves, to be honest, which is something that a lot of people don't like. Oh my God, they're going to keep Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah has 2 years left and he's not renewing his contract. That is a last contract. So by 2027, he's going to be gone. And Liverpool are trying to look after Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Listen, I just keep saying that if Liverpool win the league with Isak, it's great. If they don't win it, and there are other teams, which is I don't see anyone winning the league other than Liverpool next season currently, until Arsenal do different, until Arsenal maybe get Eze or get Rodrigo or get Leao, someone like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody winning the league, and Liverpool are actually dominating. Does anybody see Liverpool dominating for the next 2-3 years?
I think so.
No.
It can only get better, in my opinion. But yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
I don't think they'll dominate. I think the amount of money that is being spent elsewhere, like I wouldn't underestimate Chelsea at all at this point. City are City. I actually disagree with that statement that City are City because I do think they might struggle. But I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, Liverpool are going to dominate. Because like I said, I do still think they're short at centre-back. And you don't think they're short at CDM, but I do think they're short there as well.
I think we're short.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like they're going for a CDM at all, by the way.
We ain't.
But the thing is, because I know you say, like, they'll be fine with McAllister and Gravenberch, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of those two, then I think Endo is fine if you're seeing out a game. But if you're talking about needing to start a player, and I think even last season we saw it, if the team had pushed Liverpool towards the end of the season, if Liverpool had been in a scrap for the title, Gravenberch really looked tired towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
And, if that was to happen, I don't know. I just think it's just one player, one like useful. Yeah. I mean, I look at like even a Paulinho, who's obviously just gone on loan to Spurs as a player that maybe could have done it, but
it could have been a great backup, to be honest, for Sabos. I don't know, but Liverpool are not going for these players. Liverpool are not going for players like these, like Paulinho, like they're not, they're going for like is a great player or no? Yeah. Is that a player for the future or not? Are you giving Arsenal a big chance to win the league as well, Rory? Still,
I think we have a chance of winning it. Yeah, I wouldn't if I had to put my life on it. I would say Liverpool are going to win it.
Liverpool,
I don't think it's going to be like, just a easy.
You worried about the game yesterday at all? Did you see the meltdown from people?
Yeah, there were a couple of things that are worrying, just in terms of like, it's the same issues. So, but equally, we've bought in like 3 marquee signings. So, okay, you might not compare them as marquee compared to like a Verts, but like our 3 significant spends this summer, 2 of them didn't start in Zubimendi and Gyökeres, and they came on for the final like 10 minutes, and one of them wasn't in the squad. And so, and 2 of those are attackers. And so when I'm looking at a problem in attack, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to say we haven't fixed the problem when the solutions to the problem weren't playing. But equally, I think there's going to be people that are worried about, looking. It was just that we lost that game yesterday in the exact same way that we dropped points and lost games last season, right? Opening 15, 20 minutes, completely dominated, created a couple of chances, didn't convert them. Then you concede like a stupid goal out of nothing, and then you're playing up against 11 men behind the ball for the rest of the game, and there just wasn't much invention. There wasn't much like, especially considering it's a friendly, Arteta didn't really try a different approach. Like, I would one area off the left, one area didn't even come on, but one area off the left as an example. Like seeing Trossard come on for Martinelli again, I think people are tired of it. But like, all of that said, it was a friendly game in 90% humidity at the end of our preseason tour over there. So I'm not going to lose my mind. I think some people saying that, oh, this means we're not in a title race, we're in a top 4 race, and Arteta's under pressure. I think there's people that want clicks.
Do you think like people had got me last time I was here when I was talking about the aggressive side of the game? Do you think you're going to miss Thomas Partey in that midfield?
No.
Because last season when he wasn't in that midfield, it wasn't as as dominant as it usually is, because he played majority of the time as a right back. Because what I look at is when you got that midfield, obviously Rice is going to play as a number 8 on the left, right? That's where you put him, right? And then you can play Zubamendi and Odegaard, I think something along those lines.
Yeah.
Where is the dominance in that midfield when you need, when you're facing the big teams? That's what I don't get. Because when I look at Thomas Partey last season, he put himself about in that midfield.
Not massively. I think Partey struggled in those sorts of games because he's decided he doesn't sprint anymore. I mean, I don't really want to talk about Partey anyway, but he had decided he didn't want to sprint anymore, which was causing problems. But I also think Zubamendi is it's unbelievable how people underrate his physical presence in midfield and his ability to win the ball back. I watched the game against Newcastle, where he was in midfield up against Bruno G, Tonali, Jolinton, one of the strongest, most physical midfields in the league.
Yeah.
And he absolutely handled himself, no problem at all. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. I think the thing that worries me in the midfield is if it's Norgard, Rice, and Odegaard or whoever, because I think Norgard and Rice are very, very functional players. But we saw it yesterday. There was a real lack of creativity coming from that area of the pitch and progressing the ball. So that's more where I'm concerned about the midfield, is when we don't have Zubamendi available.
Okay. Yeah, I think Zubamendi is going to be better than Thomas Partey.
Oh yeah.
I actually think that Zubamendi will absolutely be fantastic for Arsenal. The problem is not going to be the DM. By the way, people think that he cannot tackle and he cannot intercept. His numbers are up there, right? The problem is going to be the creativity. It is Martin Odegaard. It's the captain. No, but Rory, to be honest with you, I'm looking at Martin Odegaard. Yes, and maybe I'm reading too much into the game from yesterday. I'm not seeing the change of the Martin Odegaard that was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I think his confidence is shattered. I'm not sure if Arteta is holding him back with the way you pass the ball around. I think you need a spark, and he's not providing a spark.
No,
to be honest with you.
When I look at Odegaard, I don't know if you guys disagree with this, but isn't it more of the same every season? He doesn't really change the way he plays. Same side, cuts in, passes, to Saka, then comes inside, tries to do a through ball. Not enough shots, not enough finesse, not enough going to the left side sometimes. If you're playing as a number 10, you got to be an all-rounder. You got to be, the game changer. And I don't think that guy is. I don't, like you just said, every season when I watch Odegaard, he started there, then he's going down, he's going down, he's going down. Now to the point he's become irrelevant in the team for some reason. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's Odegaard, maybe it's Arteta holding him back or something like that. But every season I watch him, he's just coming down, down. He's becoming basically someone you can't rely on the pitch. I don't know if you agree with it, Rory.
I think last season he became that, which was a problem. I think he's looked much better in pre-season. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people maybe only watched the game yesterday where he didn't have Zubamendi behind him. And I've been saying I think Zubamendi should make a huge difference to him because it should allow him to stay much further forward between the lines. Whereas yesterday, again, found him dropping way deeper, finding himself and when he's trying to build up from there, all it means is that by the time he's dropped that deep, then there's at least 10 opposition players in front of him.
Yes.
And then it becomes a problem. So yeah, I would, and I do think it is partly instruction. He does, at times he's previously drifted out to the left and created chances from there, but we barely ever see it. And I think that's, again, something that's becoming a bit of a frustration is why don't at times Rice and Odegaard swap sides?
Yeah.
Why does it always have to be Odegaard on the right with Saka? Why can't they swap sides at times? That's where I do feel like we've lost some variety. And if you look back to 22-23 especially, there are so many examples of goals we scored where there's just fluidity. There's players all over the place. Jesus is moving all over the place. Zinchenko's moving all over the place. And I get that at times we looked a lot weaker defensively and more fragile, but I would rather sacrifice a little bit of that to try and make us a bit more fluid in attack.
The problem is over-analyzing Arsenal is over-analyzing Arsenal has that pressure on them, looking at them, they must do well, they must play well from game week 1. Arsenal are the team that we're looking at and they must win the league and all the stuff. I think that puts pressure on the players as well. The media puts pressure on them.
Yeah.
Everyone is putting pressure on the likes of Odegaard, Saka, Rice to play. They get over-analyzed. Rightfully so, to be honest with you guys. Rightfully so, especially under Mikel Arteta, because I believe that Martin Odegaard is a very talented footballer. Very talented footballer. I've seen it. I've seen him 2 seasons really be on top of the charts of chances creation and all what he did for Arsenal. And now, last season, I don't see it. I hope that when he starts the next season, like this coming season, I see the Martin Odegaard I saw before. Maybe it's the fact that everyone, even Spurs yesterday, they put 10 players behind the ball. 10. Everyone behind the ball. And Arsenal will face this week in, week out. It might, and that is not going to change.
Nope.
And by the way, I saw yesterday something that is very strange. Max Doman was trying to play quick. On the counter, David Raya played him the ball. And I saw Moreno, and I saw Saliba, and I saw everyone telling him to slow down and bring the ball back. And I'm like, but that's not what you need. You need to play quick. And I don't know if these are instructions or Arsenal are trying to build something slow. And the result doesn't matter yesterday. But maybe at that time, you should just push forward, try to play in the transition quickly. I don't know why. Victor Gyökeres made great run behind, and they just didn't play him. They're not used to him. And it's probably what Mikel Arteta, what Jess says, that Mikel Arteta runs a tight ship and nobody can run out of get out of the plan. You have to stick to the plan. Maybe this needs to change next season for Arsenal. I'm not sure if Arsenal can take risks. I'm like,
it needs tweaking. It needs tweaking. We don't need like wholesale change. You know, you look last season, it was a really bad season, lost a huge amount of players to injury. We still came second and got to a Champions League semi-final. Like, you throw us back to 4 years ago, that would be beyond our dreams. So, like, a large part of it works, as it did in 22-23, right? A large part of what we were doing worked, but then we were super fragile, and you saw us come up against teams like City, or mainly City that season, and they bullied us. And I feel like he did. He went way too far the other way. He overcorrected it. And eventually, I'm hoping that he's just going to strike the right balance. And I'm hoping players like Madueke, you know, even if he's playing off the left, will do that. He's far more direct. He's going to pick the ball up, but he's going to run at his fullback, no matter what. We've seen that, you know, that's why the frustration with Trossard and Martinelli continues, because neither Reece Nelson keeps coming on and looking like the best left winger we've got, which is like,
yeah, that was amazing watching him.
Yeah,
like,
but it's so simple, right? Because he stands up his fullback and runs at him, and he could go one way or the other. It's not, you know, it's not revolutionary, but with Martinelli and Trossard, we just don't have that at the moment. So, and that is where part of the game plan, like, we do draw teams massively over to our right-hand side because they're doubling, tripling up on Saka. And a lot of the time we can get the ball to the other side quickly. And then you know, the game against Newcastle, you're watching Trossard 1v1 against Kieran Trippier. 2 times out of 3, Trippier wins the ball off him. And it's like, you know, that's where it's a personnel thing as much as a tactical thing.
That's why I think Martinelli needs to be sold.
Yeah, he has to go, man.
Arsenal must sacrifice. Guys, listen to Luke and hit that like button, people. Guys, of over 700 people in the house, we're only on 100 likes. Guys, hit that like button. Help the channel. Come on. Thank you, Luke, for reminding everyone to hit that like button. Yeah. I think, Rory, you need to sell Martinelli. Take the hit. Sign someone else.
I'd sell Trossard and Martinelli at this point.
Yeah, like, I don't know why, like, Arsenal financially... Is there a problem financially at Arsenal?
No, there's not. About? Well, the problem is that the Kroenkes don't actually have the ambition to win anything. They have the ambition to run a sustain. They've said it themselves. Like, it's kind of like they want Arsenal to be run sustainably, and so that whilst we do have plenty of headroom when it comes to PSR, for example, they don't want to get near it just in case. So they're constantly in this. You know, it's all okay, and we do also have a problem that we just don't sell enough players and make money off selling players. Like, that leaves us probably 100 million short of where we should be every single window, pretty much. But again, that then comes down to the safety thing, right? So we often find ourselves selling a player a year too late, holding on to them a year too long, because, we don't want to leave ourselves short there. Whereas, like, if you don't sell Martinelli now and Madueke nails down the left wing spot, which I think he's going to as it stands, Martinelli's value, whatever it currently is, halves over the next year.
Yeah,
he becomes a red. So this is the issue that we've got, and Yeah, I don't think the Kroenkes will ever. Don't get me wrong, they've backed Arteta to an extent, but they had to do that to get us back to in a position of competing in the Champions League, right? And that's where they want to be. They just want to be competing in the Champions League, competing for the title-ish, year in, year out. And they spent enough to get us back to there. I don't think they'll ever go that extra mile to get us over the line with the trophy. Now, we might get there anyway with the team that we've got and the coach that we've got, but it'll be a lot harder. Because you look at it this summer, like everyone can see that we are screaming out for a top-level left winger. Rodrigo will be available. We could afford it if we really wanted to.
He will be available, and Liverpool are not going for him. There is no team.
Yeah. So if we really wanted to, we could sell Martinelli. Martinelli's on a couple of $100,000 a week. So, in terms of the wages that you get off the book, it's an extra $100,000 a week more if you want Rodrigo.
Yeah.
If you're ambitious and you're brave, that's what you do. But we keep not doing it.
If you don't get Eze, because by the way, there are news that Arsenal are not, they don't want to pay the release clause. The valuation is too high for Eze.
Yeah.
He wants Arsenal, but he's not forcing the move yet, like Alexander Isak. If you don't get Eze, do you think that team is good enough now?
The current team?
Win the league,
No.
No,
I think we're one. I think we're one game breaker short still.
Okay.
And that is where in games like yesterday, Eze can unlock that game. A player like Eze can unlock that game.
From where? Where does he play? Left or central?
Well, that's another question. Centrally is where he is best, which is why it's an interesting one to go for.
So which one drops?
Odegaard in that situation. But we saw that last season. Like Arteta wasn't afraid actually to
but by the way, Jess mentioned something yesterday that, I'm sorry, Rory, to interject, that people keep saying that he's the captain. The first one to get subbed in every game that Arsenal needed a goal was Martin Odegaard last season.
Yeah.
In every game.
Yeah.
I still think that Arsenal should go for Eze and a left winger. They should sell one of Martinelli and Trossard and get a left winger. I think Rafa Leao, I know that you don't like him. I like him. Rodrigo's going to be maybe better than Rafa Leao or the same level or something.
What's the reason people don't like Rafa Leao? What's wrong with him?
People don't like his attitude because they think he's going to go to Arsenal. Listen, I watched Rafa Leao at Milan. The guy is basically, when he stands on the pitch, you watch him, he thinks he's better than everyone else, which is he is in Serie A. He's better than everyone, basically, right? So he doesn't defend. I watched Arsenal yesterday. I watched Martinelli and Saka literally sprint to go double on the winger yesterday, which is hard work for the team.
Yeah.
Rafa Leao doesn't do this. Him and Theo Hernandez at Arsenal, each one of them was like, they played together, but defensively, each one is in a different game. Like you on your own, I'm on my own sometimes, No. Okay. But I think, to be honest, that if Arteta gets him, number one, he's not going to be the superstar at Arsenal. There are other players. Number one, Mikel Arteta can actually mold him to work with the team. And I think Arsenal needs someone like him. We watched Reece Nelson yesterday cause havoc just by running into defenders. And that's it. All you have to do is a Doku style. Just go. Now, if you have Rafa Leao on a side, or Rodrigo, by the way, and you have Saka on a side, I saw 4 players yesterday on Saka. Again, same shit. It's the same thing. They pass to Saka, and everyone is going to Saka from Spurs. Bro, even Richardson's going towards Saka.
There you go.
It's like you need a different output on that left side. For
me, Leao, it's not just the tracking back thing, which I agree. Like perhaps you can convince him to do that if he feels like he's more a part of a team rather than the star of the team. His inconsistency is something that I worry about. Like
you can't judge him on AC Milan. You got to understand, bro. Like you play football. Like if you're in an environment which you are the best player in that team, you're going to be focused on every single time. And you take
chances, bro. You see Rafa Leao trying to shoot from dead angles. Why? Because he's like there is no accountability.
There you go.
There's no, like, Rory, like, I know what you're talking about. He's like, one game he's doing very good. The other game he's standing on the pitch, taking shots that went to go to throw-ins. That's because there is no account. He knows that he's going to start the next game. Regardless of who they play, he's starting the next game. And no one asks him questions at Milan. He can do whatever he wants. Like, you watch Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. is not consistent. Vinny Jr. can literally dribble into a throw-in and no one asks him. And the next ball, he keeps asking for the ball. Like, because why? Because he feels I'm better than all of you.
Exactly.
I can do whatever I want, and you cannot ask me. At Arsenal, that won't happen. He's going to have to be part of the team. He's going to have to play with the rest of it. And I think his capabilities and his abilities are better than Rodrigo. He's better than Rodrigo. And I think he terrorizes defenses if he goes to Arsenal. And by the way, he might not ask for the same wages as Rodrigo.
No.
What I don't understand, Rory, this is why maybe you know better than me, because you actually are like more following the news than me. It's like, why are Arsenal hesitant of trying to go to get a left winger? What is the hesitation of that? Like, why the holding of Martinelli and Trossard from Mikel Arteta? Like, is there something that we don't know?
I don't know. I mean, we heard earlier in the window that we were genuinely interested in Rodrigo and that we'd made contact. So that would suggest to you that there's some interest in a left winger. And I think Ornstein earlier in the window said a left wing was a priority. So it's either the club consider Eze to be a left winger, or that if we bought him in, he would definitely start games off the left wing, which, don't get me wrong, it would be an upgrade on Martinelli and Trossard, but I really don't think that's where you get the best out of him. Or something has changed. But yeah, I don't know. Is the honest answer.
But you need a left winger, and I'm not gonna.
Or they think Madueke is going to revolutionize the left wing, which is a completely different player for us. So that's why I don't think that's the solution, because at no point have we looked at having a left-footed left winger. Like, that's not something.
It never happened under Arteta, by the way.
No,
never.
He's moved away from even having like a left-footed overlapping.
Even he played Aubameyang as a left winger, which is a right-footed forward. He has not played a left-footed forward.
Some people go back to when he was at City and had Leroy Sané doing it, because we were linked to Leroy Sané briefly earlier in the window. From what I've seen, because even again, if he was interested in doing that and he was interested in that dynamic, why not play Ethan Nwaneri off the left wing a bit in pre-season? Because Madueke is on holiday until we get back from this tour. But if that's what the identity is going to be, or if that's what, then you've got a left-footed player in Nwaneri who's played off the wing, so play him there and see how it looks. But we've not done that at all. So yeah, I don't think that's the solution.
By the way, there is a bidding coming for Liverpool. It's 80 million plus 50 plus 10, so it's 140 million pound bid. 80 this year, 50 next year, and 10 million add-ons. By the way, that is 130 guarantees. By the way, that is 100. Yeah, just right there.
80 up front this year is mad.
Mad, mate. I can't believe that.
That's like, imagine you said they're going to spend imagine a club was going to buy an 80 million pound player and they were just going to pay that the whole 80 million in one. You'd be like, what the hell? That's crazy. Surely Newcastle don't turn that down, because that just immediately gives them the cash to spend this summer. I mean, surely they just go and get Sesko.
I don't.
He doesn't want to join them. He doesn't want to join them.
Yeah, but I don't know what that guy's on. To be honest, that whole Sesko thing, his agent and Leipzig are ruining his life, if I'm honest with you. But it's actually nuts. 18 million up front.
Wow.
Like, a bid is 130 guarantees is something I didn't see coming. That is, fellas, I think that he's going to be a Liverpool player by the end of the...
Very soon, it looks like, the way they're going. You know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%. He's going to be a Liverpool player. Just the last thing, I'm not planning to stay for long, is the Chelsea guys. Is the Xavi Simons and how to think, are they actually now can be title contenders? Does anybody see them as title contenders?
Yeah, they'll be contenders, for sure. I think Hato's a massive signing. I think that I was looking at their left centre-back and left-back lack of depth as a big problem, and he covers both. So I think that's massive. Xavi Simons is an interesting one. Whether they want to play him centrally or off the left, I guess it's, again, depth as both. But yeah, they'll be contenders for sure.
Now, they'll compete, but I don't think they're going to be obviously lasting to the end of the season. I don't think that, because
it will be interesting. Yeah, to see how they handle the Champions League as well.
It's just there's no structure for me to convince me they're gonna be like staying to the end of the season. It's always, like sometimes manager boost, player boost, and then they just fade away afterwards. That's how I see Chelsea. If they had a strong manager that can, win them the big titles, then I would have looked at them differently. But I don't really rate their manager that much to compete in the title race next season. And they're buying too many players, guys. I don't think people look at this. There's just too many players all over the place. And when you do that, how are you going to fit them all in? How are they all going to be happy? That's just too much. Nah. I'll see them obviously being contenders, but I don't think they're going to be staying to the end of the season. I don't think so. They're going to drop off at some stage. That's what I think.
It'll be interesting. I'm more interested to see, and the same with City, how they start the season. I think it's very weird that we're looking at clubs in pre-season now, and obviously they're not playing pre-season. I think, and I know obviously they kind of like had their pre-season almost in terms of figuring things out was at the Club World Cup. But you look at teams coming back from their holidays, players coming back from their holidays, like you can see there's a sluggishness. You have to try and get back up to speed. And even with like Liverpool, even though they've won the games, went full strength against Yokohama Marinos or whatever they were called, and were 1-0 down at half time or whatever. Like if they come back in that sluggishly against Premier League teams that have just done a full preseason, I think it's going to be interesting, to see those opening few games.
Yeah, like I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Their outside chance of maybe trying to win the title. It depends on what Liverpool do and Arsenal do. I think they can finish third or maybe try to push for second. The thing about it is that for me, if Arsenal don't win the league, I don't think Arsenal will finish second. I think Arsenal finish below second. And the reason why I think the players will just focus on the Champions League. If they know that Liverpool are 4, they're going to focus on the Champions League. I don't think that this title is going to go down to the wire for some whatever reason. I think one is going to run with the title like last season. I think one is going to give up. Someone is going to give up. Unless City. And I don't see City's there. City is the only team that actually go into title races towards the last day. I don't think City are there. I think it's going to be Arsenal, Liverpool, and one of them is going to drop off. I think it might be Arsenal. It depends. Of course, it depends how Isak does. And as Rory said, the depth in the centre back and the DM and all this stuff, But I think that maybe that's why I think Chelsea will push a little bit, to be honest. I mean, the cups as well. I think they're going to focus on the league to finish as high as they can because they want to make a team that will compete the year after. That's what I believe about Chelsea, to be honest. They signed a lot of players.
You got to have a structure.
Yeah. I don't know. But we thought last year that they'd signed a load more players, and then it was like, okay, now they've got the squad that they want. And then they've just gone and sold a load more of them and bought a load more players again. So it's like, I don't know when they're ever actually going to settle on the squad that they think is going to carry them through. I think it'd be interesting. Like, I think last season even, they were in the title. It's not a race at that point, but they were, a point behind Liverpool in December. So they were there. And then it all fell apart a little bit. I think it will be interesting to see how if they rotate much for the Champions League. Because obviously they had that ability to rotate completely in the Conference League. But no, I definitely think that they'll be up there.
We'll see how it goes.
The ones I think won't be.
Yeah, me too. I'm convinced that City are not going to be. And by the way, the people that say
is it because of the players they bought, or they still got the old players still there, like the ones that won
the fear? No, that they don't. They don't. There is one player that won City every league. It's Kevin De Bruyne. Diaz was amazing. I don't think he is now. Rodri's come back from injury. I'm not convinced that City will actually win the title. I'll be very surprised if City win the title this season.
So
very surprised.
I just think I don't think their team's got much of a fear factor to it now.
That's it as well.
At right back, you definitely feel like you can get at their right back because they haven't really got a proper one right now. Centre backs, like you said, I think Diaz is beginning to look slower and older. Stones, Ake, Akanji constantly injured. Ait Nouri, good left back, but vulnerable defensively. Midfielder, I think they look solid. But again, now they've lost De Bruyne as a creator. Can Cherky replicate that? Can Foden get back to his best? And then I even look at the wingers, and I'm like, Doku, good, doesn't scare you massively. Savio, good, doesn't scare you massively.
Marmoush is not a winger. Marmoush is a second, is a striker. Basically, he thrived more when he played as a forward.
Yeah,
like much better than playing as a left winger. And we'll see, to be honest.
Yep.
So, by the way, just DGN, you won the title with KDB out for months and nearly all season before. Once he comes back, you went on the run.
Literally.
You guys know that, right?
Always.
You know that even the season they won against Arsenal. Yes, I know Foden won
them the title.
I know that Foden won Player of the Season because of the consistency. But you can tell that in the games, it was Kevin De Bruyne. This is when they win. Because Foden was still scoring goals and City went on a massive drought. You know, the 6 games, was it 6 games or something like this in the middle of the season? They didn't win. Yeah, Foden was there, but Kevin De Bruyne was not there. You never go on a drought if Kevin De Bruyne is fit and play. That never happened for City. So that's why people underestimate how important Kevin De Bruyne is. To be honest with you, him and Salah are the only two. No, I don't want it, like a carry job in the Premier League over the last like 5-6 years, plus Harry Kane, of course, for Spurs. But KDB is ridiculous. Like every time he came back, I'm like, okay, this is City going on a fucking 25,000 games run, winning run. He's ridiculous. But anyway, I want to thank everyone that joined us, people. Rory Talks Football in the description, guys. So make sure to go and support. Rory's going live today, probably later. Are you going live today?
Yeah, I'll probably go live at 5.
Yeah, Rory Talks Football. Also, LFC Red, of course, LFC Red Forever channel, Fozi's channel. Thank you, everyone that joined us, guys. Hit that like button before you go. I'm not sure if I'm going to be live again today. I will see you guys soon, and we're out of here.
Take care, bye.